Hey guys, this is episode 4. I decided that it was going to be a bit more spontaneous, and rather than make everything a link, we'll just come up with random shit to talk about. If you have any ideas, you can help me out. First of all, let me just get the serious stuff out of the way. I'm not wearing a pair of pantyhose on my head. What I'm actually wearing is a very weird French hat. I'm saying this now, so just in case you watch a video, a friend sees it and they say, "Was he wearing a pair of pantyhose on his head?" You say, "Absolutely not. He was wearing a weird kind of French hat." Okay. Uh, True story. I went to court because we're doing this law program, this law module in school, and they asked us to go to court and review a case and to just sort of see how the whole process goes. And I got into an interesting case with this guy that allegedly he had been seeing this girl in a club and they were making out and everything. He just met her and was really excited. So he comes out of the club and he sees a group of people standing somewhere, and one of them happens to be a lady or something. So he walks over and then hugs her in his excitement. This is his story. Hugs her in his excitement, and then she gets angry with him and shouts at him, blah blah blah, calls the police, and then makes up a story. Now, this is the story that she's saying. He comes out of the club, and he's trying to flirt with her, and then he's being really forward, and she's trying to get him to basically fuck off, and he grabbed her vagina. Now, yes, that's what I said. Um, I found this really interesting to be hearing in court. This is the first court case I've ever been to, watching it and everything, and then this constant repetition of this guy who allegedly grabbed this woman's vagina, and it was just so funny to be in that sort of context. And the main issue that they were struggling with was the CCTV camera, which was about 2 seconds apart. There was like a delay of 2 seconds, and so they couldn't tell whether at that moment in time he had sort of slipped a hand in and so on, and so this was a case, and this case has been going on for 2 years. This is quite crazy. I think 2 years, trying to deal with this situation. But it's just a funny story because men and women just seem to have so many issues. So I don't know. Today, I decided I was going to talk about man and woman palava. Earlier today, I was watching Couples Retreat. Some of you might have seen it. I didn't watch it to the end, just like halfway through. It was quite an interesting film, quite funny as well. It's about these couple, these set of couples that go to this resort, and they have these like skills building type stuff where they counsel them, ask them questions, get them to do all sorts of random stuff in order to just see the level of compatibility. And it's interesting. So it got me thinking about things that like ruin relationships and that sort of thing. And I'd written an article about it a while back, so I thought I'd just talk about a number of things that I had written in it. Uh, One of the things is pride. You know, uh, in a relationship, I don't know why, but we always find it so difficult to say we're sorry, don't we? We're never the ones at fault, or the other person has been at fault so many other times than you, and so this particular time I'm not gonna have it anymore. I'm not gonna say I'm sorry this time. Then you have a bunch of people that are just like really acting like kids if you think about it, because it doesn't take anything to say you're sorry, and if the idea is you want the relationship to be repaired or to be free flowing, what does it take to swallow a bit of pride and say you're sorry? I mean, I know a number of people. I have a friend that he really likes this girl, and they had this long-term relationship for years, and they hadn't spoken to each other in a long while, simply because of some argument. And the issue was she hadn't called him in so amount of time, so he wasn't gonna call her. He wasn't gonna stoop low to do that. And you begin to wonder. I mean, if you really care about someone the way you say you do, what does it cost you to swallow a bit of pride? This I struggle with this myself, but I keep reminding myself of what I want out of the relationship, and so that sort of like spurs me into apologizing even when I know that I'm not at fault. You know, Another thing is communication. I mean, very few relationships actually talk. And that seems like a weird thing to say, but you can even judge from the amount of time people spend with each other in a relationship. Generally speaking, they're in like two different vicinities, have two separate lives, and then they meet up on a few occasions during the week, and have a really special night, etc. Go out, blah blah blah, have fun. But how much time could you actually spend like talking to each other, like actual friends? Like, would you just chill and like how you would talk with some close friends of yours, a group of your friends and stuff? People don't actually do that. And it seems like the main priority in relationships these days is like sex, which is another thing that seems to mess things up because it has this way of I don't know, you just feel like connected to whoever it is you're sleeping with, so it like gives you this illusion of something that you think is there, but it might really not be there. But because it's so good, or because you're enjoying it so much, you kind of don't have any reason to question the relationship, you know. And I don't know. It's weird when you think about it because these days it's almost like relationships come in levels. There's a level where you're courting, etc. You're kissing, you're not really doing much. You're going out, you're having fun, etc. Spending time together, become closer, share secrets, etc. And you have sex. This is uh, going by the sort of I don't know, legislated uh, way of doing things. I know generally speaking, you meet first day and have sex. I mean, a lot of people do that, then they end up in a relationship, blah blah blah. I'm not going by that fashion. I'm going by the stereotypical what is expected of you, mommy's way type thing. And when you think about it, it's almost like sex is like the hyped up thing. That's where the aim is. Once you get there, that's the main thing. And so it's like put on a pedestal. So it's like the main thing in the relationship. And once that capsizes, then the whole thing is spoiled or ruined, and there's nothing to fall back on. And so it's one of those niggling things that one needs to really be careful with because it's so easy to get carried away with it. Another thing is trust. It's difficult to trust someone. It's really hard to be in a situation with a person where you've completely made yourself vulnerable, where you have all these expectations and hopes, etc. But there's something at the back of your mind that keeps reminding you that reality is someone could mess things up, and that's not what you want to happen. And so it kind of spurs on to another factor which ruins relationships, which is jealousy. So one is constantly on the lookout for something, or constantly thinking something is bigger than what it is. And this has a way of like suppressing the relationship. Like um, women in particular, they do kind of like it when a guy is a bit jealous. But if you become jealous to the point of being very possessive, it then becomes even more of an issue for them because it's so easy for a guy to become possessive, to seclude the woman in a certain way and make her I don't know, do things the way you want them to be done, to have this kind of controlling element, which is like there's a tendency for a man to want to be in control, and women these days are more like the whole Beyonce independent woman, I'm a survivor. They want to be given a bit more room to breathe, which is completely understandable and it's very necessary because you can't be in a relationship where one person is the one calling all the shots. It's supposed to be like a shared thing where there's some kind of I don't know, compassion where people are like bending things for each other, and another thing is listening. You know, not many people really listen. I mean, they hear a lot of stuff, but they don't really listen. You have arguments where you're just constantly shouting insults at one another, and it's a thing where if really one person just stopped and listened, because if you realize just how different men are from women, it's amazing how different they are. Because there's some things that I've just sat down and actually listened to my girlfriend talk about, and I've realized that wow, if I'd only just spent more time listening in the past in so many different scenarios, I would have gained a lot more understanding, especially in the area of women, because just the way men and women see things is just different. What a woman thinks is really obvious, a guy is completely oblivious about, or what a guy just wants to make a decision about, the woman is more thinking a lot more about it. So it's weird. Okay, I just realized I'm running out of time. Uh, I got about 30 seconds left. I'll probably finish this some other time, but yeah, there's a few things about relationships that I thought I'd just talk about based on the film, but I'll probably talk about something or carry on a bit later. But yeah, bye.